Guys, in Leviticus chapter 22, I'm looking at various laws that the priests had to abide by to remain holy, and just an emphasis of how sin taints us and we can't come into the presence of God. Verse 1, And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Tell Aaron and his sons to be careful with the holy gifts of the sons of Israel, which they dedicate to me, so as not to profane my holy name. I am the Lord your God. There's a carefulness as we walk and go through life. Say to them, If any man among you, all your descendants throughout your generations, approach the holy gifts which the sons of Israel dedicate to the Lord, while he is unclean, that person shall be cut off from before me. I am the Lord. And so we've got examples of people dying when they don't come with the right, if they're unclean. And so even today we can't go into the presence of God if we're unclean. No man of the descendants of Aaron who is a leper or who has a discharge may eat of the holy gifts until he is clean. If anyone touches anything made unclean by a corpse, or if a man has seminal emission, or if a man touches any teeming things, those or swarming things, those are lizards and all the unclean, a lot of the unclean crawling animals, by which he is made unclean, or by any man by whom he is made unclean, whatever his uncleanness, a person who touches any such thing will be unclean until evening, and shall not eat of the holy gifts unless he has bathed his body in water. And often water, Jesus is the ultimate water. He's the one who gives life, and water even today is used for cleaning and making us physically clean. But there's a lot of symbolism to water. In John 13 verse 8 it says, Peter said to him, You shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered him, If I do not wash you, you have no share with me. And so we have to be washed by Jesus in order to enter God's presence, because all of us have in some way become unclean. Verse 7, But when the sun sets, he will be clean, and afterwards he shall eat of the holy gifts, for it is his food. So the washing of the water, and then time eventually makes him clean. And we know even today you need to have a time away once you've been for that bacteria to die. Verse 8, He shall not eat an animal which dies or is torn by beasts, becoming unclean by it. I am the Lord. They shall therefore keep my charge, so that they will not bear sin because of it, and die thereby, because they profane it. I am the Lord who sanctifies them. You'll see that repetition throughout Leviticus. I am the Lord, I am the Lord. It's only the God who makes them clean. No layman, whoever is to eat of the holy gift, a sojourner with the priest, or a hired man, shall not eat of the holy gift. But if a priest buys a slave as his property and his money, that one may eat of it, and those who are born in his house may eat of it. A priest's daughter is married to a layman. If a priest's daughter is married to a layman, she shall not eat of the offering of the gifts. But if a priest's daughter becomes a widow or divorced, and has no child, and returns to her father's house as a youth, she shall eat of her father's food, but no layman shall eat of it. So things in the family or outsiders couldn't eat of it, but if she lost her husband and no child, then she wasn't contaminated by that. But if a man eats a holy gift unintentionally, then he shall add to it a fifth of it, and shall give the holy gift to the priest. They shall not profane the holy gifts of the sons of Israel, which they offer to the Lord. Unintentional sins don't have the same severity as intentional, and so cause them to bear punishment by guilt by eating their holy gifts, for I am the Lord who sanctifies them. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons and to all the sons of Israel, and say to them, If any man of the house of Israel or of the aliens in Israel who presents his offering, whether it is of their votive or any of their freewill offerings, which they present to the Lord for a burnt offering, for you to be accepted, it must be a male without defect from the cattle, the sheep, or the goats. Whatever has a defect, you shall not offer. It will not be acceptable to you. When a man offers a sacrifice of a peace offering to the Lord, to fulfill the special vow, or a freewill offering of the herd of the flock, it must be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no defect in it. So the people, the priests, the animals, all had to be perfect. They had to be spotless, without blemish. Verse 22, those that are blind or fractured or maimed or having a running sore or eczema or scabs, you shall not offer to the Lord, or make of them an offering by fire on the altar to the Lord. In respect to an ox or a lamb, which is an overgrown or stunted member, you may present it as a freewill offering, but for a vow it will not be accepted. Also anything with its testicles bruised or crushed or torn or cut, you shall not offer it to the Lord, or sacrifice in your land. You shall not accept any such from the hand of a foreigner for offering as food of your God, for their corruption is in them. They have a defect, they shall not be accepted for you. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, when an ox or a sheep or a goat is born, it shall remain 7 days with its mother, and from the 8th day it shall be accepted as a sacrifice of an offering by fire to the Lord. But whether it is an ox or a sheep, you shall not kill both it and its young in 1 day. When you sacrifice a sacrifice of thanksgiving to the Lord, you shall sacrifice it, that you may be accepted. It shall be eaten on the same day, and shall leave none of it until the morning. I am the Lord. So you shall keep my commandments, and do them. I am the Lord. You shall not profane my holy name, but I will be sanctified among the sons of Israel. I am the Lord, who sanctifies you, who brought you out of Egypt, from the land of Egypt, to be your God. I am the Lord. Amen.